it's going to be a wasted effort, and I hate putting it that way. So, the Eight of Cups being the overall, clearly here, there's going to be some consideration on moving on, especially if you get to the point where you feel emotionally drained. And what I don't like here is, I feel like this is kind of like the way that they're seeing you. But I have to wonder, though, if this isn't them getting, more emotionally invested than maybe what they were before. But is it a little bit too late? Because we're talking about, independence here with the Nine of Pentacles, or remaining independent from the relationship or issues going on within the relationship. But because there's a choice here, I kind of feel like the course of action that you take with this relationship is, we're not saying that we're together, but does that make them more emotionally invested, though? And I want to clarify that Queen of Cups. And let me start from the beginning, because I'm getting all wrapped up in this and carried away. The Eight of Cups is going to be for both of you. Now, you may feel like this person has abandoned the relationship or wanting to restart. Because with the Ace of Cups and you coming in with this, clearly emotions are being restored for this person, whoever it is that you're focused on, and you would like to see this new beginning. But that's only because there's communication coming through with the Page of Pentacles. And this may be this person communicating with you because they're learning something about you. And I say that because, the student with the Page of Pentacles, but we're also talking about somebody who would like to start something, but it takes a lot of effort, right? And are they willing to do that? But then you move into the Four of Pentacles here, where it's like I said before, I feel like you want them to hold on to that feeling. But they, and I say this because of the Eight of Cups, may be taking an emotional distance. Now, on the other hand, though, this could be some Scorpios here who are holding, their feelings close and not, wanting to give any indication of how they feel until this person shows emotional availability. But with, the King of Cups, typically this is going to show that, they're open, they're emotionally open to you. I'm available now. Especially with the Page of Pentacles, because it's like they're wanting to talk about, possibly starting something with you. Though I don't think that this is going to be like a normal relationship by any means. And, what the fuck is normal anyway? But, like, they're not going to want to call it a relationship. And I don't think that you want to, though, either, coming out. But like I said, for some of you, there's this feeling of, I want them to hang on to the way that they feel. I don't want them to let go. And for some of you, you're holding on too tightly to this person, straight up, especially with the Eight of Cups. Then you move into the Eight of Pentacles, where what I want to say here is wasted effort, because I'm looking at it this way. Death on their side, I don't know. I don't necessarily feel like this situation is over between the two of you. But something has changed. And changed so much so for this person that for you it's going to feel like I have to work really hard to get them to continue to hold on to the way that they feel. But is it a wasted effort? Now, death could be showing, though, that something, big has changed in their life that is, separate from you. But when it's directly connected to you, whatever they were feeling before has changed. It's not the same. Because, look at it, right? And for some of you, yeah, you could be dealing with another water sign, male, female. You guys know how that goes for me. It doesn't matter. But whatever, plan or idea that you initially started off with, you're abandoning that. The both of you are going to be, I think. But there is a different course of action. But through the effort that may have been wasted, you may be in consideration of, okay, then what path are we taking? But the Nine of Pentacles could be talking about, not being so emotionally invested in this person anymore. And, being a little bit more independent and not being so clingy toward them for sure. And thinking of Scorpio, yeah. But that's, right in the middle. It's like the both of you, I think, are in this place of like being independent from each other, but there's still a relationship going on though. It's just we're not labeling it. But that Queen of Cups, if that's how they're looking at you, they may be looking at you as like you're too emotional and you're too invested. But I would say that because of the Two of Wands, that's not really the truth, because you may be stuck with the idea of, there's only one direction we should be taking. I'm waiting for you to make the choice. But I think that you are in a place of, we could take a different path together. It doesn't necessarily have to be this, we are together, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. And I say that because of the Nine of Pentacles. But that could be them though. Especially because they, I feel like, are the King of Cups. I don't think that that's you. I think that you are the Four of Pentacles in terms of where you meet with this person. You may not have been able to let them go, but do they become more emotionally invested because of that Queen of Cups? And then I look at the Eight of Cups, and we're not completely abandoning this connection, this relationship. It's just that the way that you think it should go, or the way that the both of you wanted it to go, I think is taking a different direction, and you're not going to be emotionally invested in that, how do I put this? There aren't plans to get married. There aren't plans to be together forever. There aren't plans to move in together. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you have a connection with this person, but the relationship has taken a different direction, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, whether that Queen of Cups is you or them, because I feel like for some of you, I'm feeling both. If this is you, and the way that they're seeing you, they're saying that you've had a major chapter in your life come to a close in a very successful way, which opens up the lines of communication and brings new energy to the situation, straight up. But that could also be why they become more emotionally invested than what they were before. Now, when you look at the Two of Wands here, we've got the Six of Cups first, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. The past, there may have been different emotions and a different idea of where things should go, but looking at the world, though, I do think that if it's you or them, whatever past issue there was, there's the successful closure on it. And it could literally be you or the other person becoming single. But because I'm looking at these two, I just think that the relationship is going to be different than what you would expect a relationship to be. You know what I mean? Now, with the Fool and the Eight of Wands, if we're talking about a different course of action, if the both of you decide on, okay, so this is the way we're going to go, you're like, sure, I'm all about it. Let's go. You jump right into it, and I don't feel like you're being foolish or that you're going to take a huge risk or that you're going to regret it. But what ends up happening here is that your connection might become much, much stronger with this person. But you're still both going to keep your independence. And there's going to be, this letting go of being so clingy and, wanting this person to hang on to, certain feelings and emotions. Effort may feel like it has been wasted, and it may be because the other person has changed, and the direction the relationship is coming to an end. But you're also talking about rebirth with death, right? Which is why I don't really consider that, a definite ending. It's just an ending of a way of being or how things were. But look at that. Look at that. I don't know who you're dealing with, but in you, I think, are going to feel it more so than them. What they're going to feel is like renewed. And I think that they're going to feel really good about themselves being connected to you. Okay, so I think that you are dealing with a person here who has a lot of passion for you with the Emperor, right? And this could be male or female, but this is definitely somebody who wants to take control. They want to make the first move. They want to have some kind of a connection with you, and they're like, their passion for you has built in such a way that they're moving into a place where I think that they feel good about like going after you now. Now, that could be Scorpio, though, too. The problem is with the Eight of Pentacles, somebody is, like, too focused somewhere else. I usually look at this as somebody who is, like, really focused on their career, their day-to-day life, right? Because it reminds me of, like, waking up in the morning and drinking my coffee, like, fuck, I gotta get in the shower, I gotta get ready for work. This is what I have to do at work. These are the other things that I have to handle. And that's why there isn't a whole lot of, like, noticing this person. And that kind of is reinforced with the Page of Swords for me. It's like you just don't notice this person. That, or like I said, this could be, the other way around here. But if this is you, Scorpio, it's not that you're rejecting this person. It's just you may not have time to mess around with them, but I don't think that you even see them or notice them. But their passion for you is building, and they want to act. Now, with the Page of Swords, I usually look at this as somebody who is, like, literally up your ass, trying to interject themselves. But the thing is if you're single, it may not be that bad of a thing. And I say that because of the Nine of Cups. If it was a stalker, I don't think that this person would be making you happy. Do you understand what I'm saying? That they may have been, like, really trying to get your attention, like, in not like a Five of Wands type of way, but like keeping an eye on you, but noticing you a lot more. And then I go back to a new person, right? And you just don't know, you don't see them. But when you do, you enjoy this person. The Nine of Cups is, being in love, being happy, You like being around this person, you like having their attention. It's like you finally notice them and you're like, yeah, I really do like you. And with Justice, what's interesting to me here when I look at this, I feel like there's a connection from the past where they may not have followed through on pursuing you before, and there may have been an opportunity, which is why we're looking at, like, correcting the issue with Justice, creating fairness and balance. Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. But with the Two of Cups and looking at the Nine of Cups, yeah. Okay, so the Hermit. This one kind of threw me off a little bit, but what I think is happening here is I think that it's the both of you. It's the both of you being in this place of trying to figure out what you wanted from your love life, and that may be kind of why this person didn't really, follow through on, like, pursuing you or approaching you before. But their, passion for you has grown in a really big way because of the Emperor being there, and then acting as the Page of Swords, like, notice me, notice me. But I think that the both of you are coming out of, like, this feeling of the Hermit. Now, for some of you, though, you may really like this person, you may really enjoy this person, and you may have a lot of feelings for them when you notice them again. But you may be questioning on whether or not this is the kind of relationship that you want to be in with them. And I say that because I look at the Nine of Pentacles and I think we need fairness and balance with this relationship, with Justice, yes, but that's because we're not really calling it a relationship. Oh my god. That is the Nine of Pentacles. This is about somebody who is, yeah, obsessed. But we're not talking about a relationship here. We're not telling people we're in a relationship. We're not defining it. But someone else is like, that's fine, I'll take what I can get. Which is why he's cutting off a piece of her hair. So do we need to correct this and make this a relationship, make this, a stronger bond, because clearly you really like this person, they really like you. And then you have the Three of Pentacles, and that's not too bad. So the Ten of Pentacles, like I always say, this is about self-reflection. It could show that there is, an abundant relationship. In terms of the Pentacles, there may be a lot of security that has been built in the relationship, absolutely. But you may be looking at yourself going, is this really, who I am? Is this really who I want to be? And with the Four of Wands, it's either you want to have more fun, or somebody is not taking the relationship very seriously. Especially if Scorpio is coming from a place of you are in a relationship with this person, but it needs to be more secure, and you may not feel like that, which is why you're kind of like looking at yourself within the relationship going, is this really what I want? Kind of reminds me of the Hermit a little bit. But something happens, I think, that forces you to look at yourself with the Ten of Pentacles, Now, with the Ace of Wands, we are talking about a new beginning, which is like, for me looking at the two, it's not bad, I don't think that we're talking about pregnancy or fertility here. I really think it's about needing the passion to restart. And I look at the Four of Wands and think, yeah, Scorpio may be wanting to have a little bit more fun with, their partner. Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. But with the Queen of Pentacles, this is like, even though there's an opportunity to restart the passion, you may feel like this person is not satisfying you, because I look at the Queen of Pentacles and think, I can take care of myself. That, or there's something that, this person is not, like, providing for you, and I feel like it's a sense of security within the relationship. Now, with the Four of Swords, that may be the reason why you're not, like, there may be a moment in the relationship in the future where you're like, I'm not feeling it right now, because the Four of Swords is we can't make the connection. You can't force yourself to feel something that you don't feel, right? And you may be wanting to take a break. And I'm hoping with the Three of Pentacles here that, your partner or you, because we can flip the script on this, either one of you starts to become more caring. This is about warmth in a relationship, right? More love, more caring, more understanding, more hugs, less fucking. That's the best way for me to put that. But this is what you need. You need them to, give you more than just the physical connection and just the day-to-day routine. I need to spend some time with you. Like, I need to know that you do care about me. And then the Six of Swords, and that's great. So, if you're having problems with your partner right now, like, if you're wanting them to be more serious, or on the other hand, if you're wanting to have, more fun with this person. But see, the thing is, though, with the Page of Wands, let me start there and slow down. The Page of Wands is about looking past appearances and getting wrapped up in the passion. So I look at this as somebody who is acting like, I need you to look past this. And what they want you to look past is, I think, a lack of security, because you feel like you're needing to find that on your own. That is the one thing that they are not providing you, is what I feel like. And that could be actual physical security in terms of, like, living together, or, you are the only one who has a job. I mean, it could be a couple of different things, right? But you feel like you're responsible for creating your own security, even though there is the passion, right? But maybe that's great and all that, we have fun together, but there is definitely something missing for you where you feel like you need to fulfill that for yourself. The thing is with the Three of Wands, though, you want to start this again because you both feel the same way about each other. That is the Three of Wands, right? And these feelings are building with the both of you. But with the Four of Swords, it's like there's a part of you, I think, that holds yourself back because you need a little bit more. But I'm hopeful with the Six of Swords because I look at this as bridging the distance. Not just the physical distance between the two of you where there might be, right? Like, I almost feel like this is for the Scorpios who are in a relationship where you're not living together, or you're not living together anymore. But I look at this as your partner really trying to, bridge that gap with you. They may be taking things a little bit too lighthearted, but for you it's a little bit more serious, especially if you don't feel secure. But the thing is, again, give your relationship a chance, right? Maybe you can work on this, because I feel like they do care about you, even though things may be a little bit strained. But yeah, they're trying to get past that distance that you're putting in place with them. But I don't see it as like a bad thing. I just see